Africa's a banana republic. And here I'm going to tell you exactly why. There's a reason I'm in the jungle. Because in this jungle, this is South Africa. We literally live in the jungle. If you know anything about us, you'll know that we don't have functioning roads. There are potholes in every single case. If you go through some areas, you'll find that buildings that were once beautifully painted and tiles that were once beautifully laid or bricks have now been vandalized in a disgusting manner, with drunkards paving the streets and with towels cracked, with absolutely no respect for the land and the city that once was not a banana republic. This video ends when my banana's finished. I live in South Africa and I'm young, 17. And what I can say, living here for at least 17 years, is that this country has become degrading, a degradation, of itself. And sometimes returning here gives me a lot of inner clarity. This country is like a piece of wood. Think of a block of wood. It was once a tree, a beautiful tree, South Africa, a vibrant culture, a nation, a group of people, all together. But then something happened. The tree was cut down. Things that impacted the integrity of the nation. Theft, violence, corruption, and no more law and order, which caused the once thriving tree, which actually yielded fruit. And I'm not talking about the history here, I'm talking about the ideological state of South Africa, which, as Nelson Mandela said, would be a rainbow nation, and is technically a rainbow nation. But that tree was cut down, and continues to be chopped away with an axe, day by day, day by day, day by day. And unfortunately, the country is falling into greater disrepair. And just like a tree, now it's on its way down, it's falling. In this very garden here, which I'm so privileged to have, we had a big tree. I used to tie up ropes and climb all the way to the top. But one day came a major snowstorm, or not a snowstorm, but a major storm, with winds, hails, and water pouring down from the sky like God was taking a shower. And just like that, kadoosh, the whole big tree collapsed. What's happening in South Africa is becoming socialist. And as the difference and the divide between the haves and the have-nots increases, so too does the divide between cultures and between nations. So too does animosity grow. And so too does the degradation of such a banana republic increase. Day by day, as I take a bite out of this delicious piece of fruit, it decreases in size. It decreases in its ability to govern itself, to have external influence, to drive the entire world, not just itself, forward, to a state of greater moral virtue, and to a state where we as South African people are proud of our nation. Now, I'm not going to say that it's a complete banana republic. It's not. In many regards, South Africa have moved the needle forward. We've pushed ourselves forward. If you look at our rugby team, we are number one, as it stands right now, in the world, above New Zealand's team, above the Wallabies in Australia, above the Irish, above everyone. And it's not to blow smoke or cause a fire online or spark controversy. It's the fact that South Africa have a lot of things worked out. We have one of the world's most unique transport systems, called the Taxi Association of South Africa, which transport millions upon millions of people who work every day just to support their families and perhaps to send their children to a school for a better future and for hope of something more. Maybe the governing bodies at the top aren't doing a good job to reflect the needs of the people. But in some regards, and I'm going to come here for a bit closer, this isn't a banana republic because the people have saved the nation. It doesn't matter that there's poor governance. It doesn't matter that all of our public services are falling into disrepair. Because at the end of the day, the people in South Africa are the nation. Think of America. What is America? America's the left, the right, Republicans and the Democrats. Who are those people? People. Those are people. If there were no people, no inhabitants in South Africa, we wouldn't have a nation and we wouldn't have a banana republic to complain about. I'm almost coming to the end. I'm going to move up here. South Africa can move itself forward, and it doesn't have to be a banana republic. All it needs is for the people to rise up and tell the government We understand your tricks. Aye, man. We can see with our eyes your tricks, your money, which ends up sometimes in Hyde Park, Sandton, Menlyn Mall, V&A Waterfront. If you're in South Africa, these are 5-star hotels, 5-star establishments. Why is that money not being used to service the people? And I don't want smoke. I support all the governing bodies. All of our leadership are there because of their own choices and the things that they did right. And a lot of them are doing something brilliant. In fact, all of them are doing a job. I think that it could also be a smokescreen when we talk about corruption. Maybe corruption isn't as bad as we think. Maybe it's just our fault for being ignorant as the South African people, as the inhabitants of such a beautiful, powerful, strong, and culturally diverse land, that we always focus on these ministers and these governing bodies, when in fact we need to look inwards. Look what I'm doing. I'm connecting with you. This is something I'm doing so that we can foster a strengthened bond within South Africa. Why does it have to be that we rely on our ministers and on our famous politicians to do these sorts of things when we as a populace can stand up? And I'm not saying we need to revolt. I'm not saying that we need to change governance. Everything can stay exactly the same way. Governing body, we toast you. We actually commend you for all the work that you do. And it's not fair that these governing bodies or these ministers get a bad rap for 1 or 2 people who are outliers, who steal money or do heinous things that we hear about them. It should be that they're all doing a good job. We're proud of them, and we as the nation want to move ourselves forward. This isn't a revolt. This isn't saying South Africa's rubbish, divest, or do anything. I'm saying South Africa have a strong cultural bond. They're like a tree. The only trouble is that it's been cut down, but it perhaps hasn't yet fallen. And what happens with the tree is, this very branch, what I can do is if I plant it and I put water on it and I make sure it's the right soil, it won't take that long before the roots of this very tree start to form once again, like if taking a carrot. I wanted to grow things in this very garden here by the forest. And what happened was, I decided to plow the land. I took my shears, if you can call it that, cut off the grass, dug up the roots, and I took a carrot that I had half eaten. I put that carrot in. I came back 4 months later, and there was already a stalk growing out of it. You can take a fruit or vegetable that has already been partially eaten and replant it, just like with a tree that you chop down, replant a portion of it or a branch, and just like that, it grows back in a couple of years. All we need to do in South Africa is unite ourselves, believe in our governance, believe in our ministers, but also at the same breath take certain things into our own hands to strengthen our own culture, to strengthen our own unity, to strengthen our own ability to deal with our problems and not complain to other people. South Africa doesn't have to be a banana republic. And with that, I leave you to decide the future. Because the banana republic, is over.